Hi, my name is John. I'm an addict in recovery, and I it was suggested for me to talk about abandonment. Um, you know, dealing with abandonment and issues that have to do with abandonment. And like I guess like my mother left me when I was very young. And the story goes that she dropped me off at my grandmother's house and told me that she was coming back with a container of milk, and she never came back. And you know, I, so- you know, I for a long time I had that dream over and over in my life. Like I felt like I was trapped in that. It was like a nightmare to me. That continued. Like I would go to sleep and would have this dream, this continuous dream about being left, in my grandmother's house, and I guess I never really knew how that was gonna affect me later on, and today, you know, if it wasn't for recovery, like I probably would still have issues with that, with thinking that people come into my life to leave me and stuff, um, and I was very angry about the whole situation. I was very angry, um, you know, and I grew up being, like I guess I didn't grow up like angry, but like I internalized the anger, and so when I came into recovery, I was very angry. I was such an angry individual, and I remember like hearing things like that there are no victims, just volunteers. I'm sure you probably heard that before. And I was like, yo, I didn't volunteer for somebody to leave me, for somebody to abandon me, and I didn't like I didn't volunteer for that, you know, and and I tried my best, mm, for it not to happen to me, like for me to end up doing the same thing, and I had a situation, and unfortunately, like I had a situation where it turned out that way, even though you know I didn't choose to do it, but it ended up being that way, and I got two kids of my own that that believe that they've been abandoned too, and for they and I guess if I had to look at it the way I looked at me being abandoned, then I guess that they would feel that they were abandoned you know um, by their father, you know um, except for me it was my mother, and my mother wasn't there for me, and I really didn't want to do this video because like like my mom, you know she's probably gonna see this video, and I didn't really want her to know how I felt, you know and I don't even know, you know I might not even post the video, you know keep it to myself, because it's gonna, like, you know, I, I, uh, I still have feelings, like deep feelings inside, and I still, you know, ask myself, like, what were the possibilities, or like, even if I would have turned out the way I turned out, and like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm really happy that I turned out to be who I am today. Like, I'm really happy with myself right now, and like, I'm glad that I am who I am, and but like like I don't like I still have feelings of like hurt feelings, feelings that I act certain, I act out certain ways, or sometimes I'm insecure or I feel threatened, by certain situations because like the feelings still come up, whenever I get even an inkling or a sense that someone's gonna abandon me or they're gonna leave me, like they're just gonna give up on me or you know anything that has to do with like just leaving me, and you know so so I'm really like for my kids, like like I didn't set out to do that, and I don't want to justify what I did because I did. There's no justification, because I don't even want to hear like my mother's excuse, for why she did what she did, like I really don't, and like after all these years of living without her, like living without her and living without her guidance and living without her love, like really, like I not really interested in having it now, and it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad that I feel that way because like like I've learned so much in recovery about honoring your mother and your parents and your family and honoring, and so much about you know not you know not keeping grudges and forgiving and and I believe I have forgiven. I just can't forget. I just can't forget you know the hurt and everything that happened as a result of it, and I've learned to live. I've learned to live with myself, to the best of my ability, and I still have, I guess that's why I'm so sensitive sometimes. Like, I'm very emotional sometimes and so sensitive about a lot of things. And I think that it has a lot to do with maybe some of, some of those deep down issues that I've had to deal with, or feel, or be able to face, because like a lot of these things were the reason that I ended up getting high over. Like I got high over, being, some of those things, and as a result of getting high, I've had other complications, in my life, and but I'm, don't get me wrong, I'm like really happy that I'm who I am today, and I'm glad that you know that that everything, I'm glad that I had two sons. I'm glad that I had a daughter. I'm glad, that they're able to live their life today. And I'm glad that they turned out the way they turned out, even though they may be mad at me because, like for whatever, for what ended up happening, me leaving them over there with their mother and stuff. And, you know, it, it, it wasn't because I didn't love them any less. And I guess maybe, like this is my way of like seeking in myself that, that the possibility of me being the same like my mother, but I don't believe I am. I really don't believe that I'm like her. Like I didn't intentionally leave my sons, you know, um, you know, with the same intention. I don't think that I did. And and maybe I have a hard time, understanding that and trying to, feel that, and so when I think about abandonment, I think about that. I think, I not only look at myself, but I look at the ones that have been affected as a result of being abandoned, and and I hated that the pattern continued because like I didn't want anything that happened to me to happen to anybody else, and I didn't want to cause it to anybody else. I didn't want that to happen, but it happened, and I didn't try to do it intentionally. So, anyway, I just wanted to share those feelings about that. Somebody suggested that I share my feelings on abandonment. And of course, there's a lot more that I have, that I need to talk about. But like, I think, I don't want to start bawling here. I don't want to start crying to, because like that's how I feel right now. Like, when I tap into this, I tap into a lot of hurt, a lot of feelings, um, you know, some angry feelings, some upsetting feelings, and the fact that not only not only with her, but like with my kids, I'm hurt. I'm hurt that I wasn't able to be there for them. I'm hurt that I wasn't, and this isn't about me. This is about what they must be feeling, because if I'm feeling this way about my mother, I can imagine how they feel about me. And I hope that one day they would find it in their heart to realize that it was not intentional, that I didn't want to hurt them that way, and that I do love them, you know, and I am who I am today because of them, because of my sons. I don't think that I would be who I am today if it wasn't for my sons. And you know, I mean, I love my daughter, and just the fact that I am who I am with her has a lot to do with how I felt about my sons. Uh, you know, uh, anyway, I don't think I'm gonna. I don't know if I am, but if I do, I'm sorry for if my sons see this, or if my mother, if the mother that left me sees this. I didn't post it to hurt anybody, or I posted it because I've been doing these videos about a little piece of me, and I want to get as honest as possible because I want to share my life with others so that that they'll be able to go through whatever they're going through and be able to do it clean. And and so, so that you'll know that, no matter what you're going through, or what you're feeling, or what you think you are, or what you think you've done, or how far or how bad it was, or whatever, that that you can get clean, and that you can stay clean, and no matter how many feelings that you're having, that that you can get through them, that you can live through them, that you can live through the experience, and that you can learn to love, and learn to be kind, and learn to be patient, and and not have to always live in guilt, and even forgiving yourself, because I think I've forgiven myself very much, about a lot of things, but anyway, I think that that's pretty much. I don't want to, this is a long video, so, and I mean, there's a lot to be said about abandonment, and there's a lot of feelings that come behind it. There's a lot of hurt that is a result of it, and I've only touched a little bit on it. So, I just want to say to those, you know, that are out there that feel the same way that I do, you know, I love you, and and like if this has happened to you, or either way, if you're the victim of abandonment, or you're the one who received, or who got abandoned, or been abandoned, or whichever way it happened, that that there's hope, that you can go on, and you can move on, and you don't have to hold on to to those feelings. You can move on with them, and anyway, if nobody told you they love you, I love you, and so does the God of my understanding. And thanks for listening.